Okay, great. Now we're talking. Hi, Rodney.
Hey
Nice
Richard, how are you?
picture. Great to see you.
Oh,
So you
thank you,
got a
sir.
chance to ask me questions. It's an open forum. And
Hey, Richard, I have a question. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you very well. Thank you.
Okay, great. So obviously, I'm pretty new to NLP and with you. I've been with Mike Ferry for 3, 4 years already. But my question is, what you're teaching us as far as the language patterns, the keys when you're in front of them, stuff like that. How do I implement that in listing appointments? What you're showing me?
Well, let's start with that. 'Cause that's a great company. And it's my lineage in terms of coaching. And as you know, I was a coach in there. My specialty was skills. And
Yes.
so the way that we implement it is many ways. One of them is to look at a listing appointment you went to and do a post-mortem. So if you look at a football team like NFL or a great boxer, as you know, what they'll do is they'll watch the video, especially the coaches will watch it and they'll see what was going on. Like, how come, that,
Okay, break it down. Break it down.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Okay.
even to the point that of holding the ball, like, holding it like this or holding it like that type of measurement. So when I went to Virginia, I noticed a few things there, and it's called precision. So when they're teaching gunfighting, there's a camp people go to, and they actually use almost live ammunition, and you get ambushed. They have to go into houses. They have to, like, it's called gunfighting in the military. And apparently there's all these GoPros all over the place, and they're watching everything, not only the gun, but how you hold it, just how you hold it to that degree. And it's 100%. You have to pass 100%. So
Sure.
one way is to look at it. So I'll give you an example. I had an agent that came and they said, Richard, I think I lost it. I was with the parents. Everything was going well. I was going through my scripts, but then the daughter came in the room and she was holding the baby and saying, what's going on? Almost interrupting it. So in that case, how do you handle that? Because we're right in the middle. Everything was going well. Elderly parents, not that elderly, they don't understand what I'm doing. And then what happened is that he actually lost that listing. Is I told him what you could do in that situation. It's almost like street fighting. So how do you handle that situation? And we can always get on a call. I'll tell you exactly how. The other way is to have steps, actually have steps, like you walk in and how do you get that right? So what I do is I took the scripts that we used to use before, and you almost could say I put a nuclear tip on it. So what happens before I ask the 3 questions, and I'm going to show you that on a call, is that we look for the criteria. We find the criteria, and criteria is what people are seeking, is what they're looking for, is what they want, what they desire. So it's actually what they need to fulfill their desire. So if somebody says, I'm looking for water. Anyone got water? I'm really thirsty. That's a criteria. You could be driving in the car and you go, I feel thirsty. I need to have some water. Or what about if you run out with gas? Your criteria is gas. So human beings, heat-seeking missiles, like in Top Gun, we're always looking for what we want. So what we have to find out is not just, oh, you want to sell the house, this is the price, but find out what's going on with them. So we go much deeper. So I'll give you another level. Our level of thinking about the person's situation is a much higher level with NLP and persuasion and hypnosis, etc. Because I'll give you an example. So you go and you see somebody and he says, I want to buy a bigger house for my children. And that's great. So how much do you want to sell it for? What do you want to buy? That's simple real estate. And you get good at the scripts and you can do very well. But you see, in NLP, we'll say, wait a minute, this person is on a journey. What's the theme of this person's life? So this person is on a hero's journey. And the hero's journey is something they use in Hollywood as well. But basically, all epics are hero's journey. So somebody growing and overcoming challenges, slipping back, finding a mentor, moving forward, slipping back again. And then finally, it's a hero's journey. It's like it's a study in itself. But why is this person in their journey? So maybe the person wants to have, so, I might say, so what you mentioned, you want to be in this neighborhood, let's say Tacoma. And you go, what's important about that? And the person may say, well, the schools, for my children. And I go, wow. So what's the difference in the schools there than here? See, I'm asking questions. Oh, the schools here are bad. They're teaching all this stuff. And let's say the person's even politically inclined, blah, blah, blah. And I want to get them over there. And I want to have a good education, better schools, more computers, more facilities. And I've noticed that if they go to college, they got a better chance of going to a better college from there, right? So what you might find with a further question or the person opening up is that this person thinks of themselves as being a very smart person, but they never went to college because their parents, and they might say, my parents weren't really into education. And I could have been somebody. Right now I'm working in a mill, but I'm really smart. Like I could read books. I could talk to people. They go, wow, you're like a professor. But I never had that opportunity and it hurts. But the thing is that now I got a chance with my children. I want to pass on. I want to give them the opportunities. So when we get people into that kind of level of conversation, they don't want to go with anybody else. Can you see that? The last thing they're thinking of is how much do you charge? And the last thing they're thinking of is, well, what do you do to sell a home versus the other one? It's called leveraging. So by combining that with the scripts, and they work beautifully with the scripts, we start layering in the motivation within the scripts. And now they're seeing us as a provider to provide their criteria and their highest values. So that might not have been an answer you expected.